article by The Guardian has several points of biases. We can see them all throughout, highlighted in yellow. First, we can see this quote: "As far as I am aware, it is the most comprehensive assessment of resource transfers ever undertaken." But this says, "as far as I am aware." So, as far as the author is aware, and not as far as the data is available. Then we can also see this quote: "What this means is that the usual development narrative has it backwards," which is again an opinion of the author. It isn't actually data. Numbers don't move backwards. Then we can see a one sided statement again, some of its payments on debt. So it's saying that where is all this money going? And it says, well, some of it is payments on debt. And then we have no source, which means the author this is actually an author's opinion. Then, if we go further down, we can see this. The GFI reports finds that increasingly large net outflows have caused economic growth rates in developing countries to decline and are directly responsible for falling living standards, which is again a opinion by the author or a one-sided story because it doesn't actually take into account all the corruption in African countries. Then, furthermore, we can see here, in other words, some of the very countries that love to tout their foreign aid contributors are the ones enabling mass theft from developing countries. But this isn't necessarily the government. It's actually corporations which the government may not control. And then at the end, do we have the courage? Which is a question intended for the readers in UK since this is The Guardian, a paper from the UK. So, this article is intended for people in the UK, and the author's purpose is to inform people or convince people that companies are really bad and they're stealing money from poor countries. Then, the intended effect on the audience is again to fool the readers into thinking that is all this outflow of poor countries is due to rich countries stealing their money. And then, how does a bias appeal to the audience? Well, the bias isn't very clear unless you dig into the article and see really all the one sided stories it has. So, to conclude, this makes me think about how some people don't see the bigger picture and don't think about how maybe these foreign aids into countries and out of countries may actually benefit the poor countries in the long term.